The only 3 dumbbell exercises you need for strong legs. As many medical specialists in healthy aging affirm, death begins in the legs. When our lower limbs lose strength and functionality, a cascade of health problems can arise. Difficulty standing up, higher risk of falls, loss of independence, and even compromised blood circulation. To prevent these problems, today you'll see the only 3 leg exercises that can be done using just body weight and dumbbells, equipment accessible to anyone. With these movements, you can develop stronger and larger legs, regardless of your current age. Before presenting the exercises, you need to briefly understand the anatomy of the 4 main muscle groups that make up the lower part of our body. The first is the quadriceps, a set of 4 muscles located in the front of the thigh that are essential for knee extension and for basic movements such as getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, and walking. When the quadriceps are weak, simple tasks become challenging. The second are the hamstrings, a group of 3 muscles in the back of the thigh, responsible for knee flexion and hip extension, fundamental for walking, running, and maintaining proper posture. Third, the glutes, formed mainly by the gluteus maximus, medius, and minimus. They are the largest muscles in the body and essential for pelvic stability, hip extension, and maintaining correct posture. Strong glutes are fundamental for preventing lower back pain and knee problems. And finally, the calves, composed mainly of the gastrocnemius and soleus, crucial for the plantar flexion of the foot. They allow us to rise onto our toes and function as a pump that helps propel blood back to the heart, combating the formation of varicose veins and circulatory problems. As you might already imagine, for truly strong legs that guarantee autonomy throughout life, it is essential to strengthen all these 4 muscle groups in an integrated way. How to do this? Just follow these 3 exercises. Exercise 1. Bulgarian split squat. The Bulgarian split squat is one of the most efficient exercises for developing strength and hypertrophy in the legs. Unlike the traditional squat, this movement allows you to work one leg at a time, which brings unique benefits that are often neglected in conventional training programs. One of the greatest advantages of the Bulgarian split squat is its ability to correct muscle imbalances between one leg and the other. It's normal to have a dominant leg, which ends up taking more load during bilateral exercises like the traditional squat. Over time, this can lead to aesthetic and functional disproportions. The Bulgarian split squat, by isolating each leg, forces the weaker side to work independently, promoting balanced development. Another notable benefit is that it doesn't cause direct load on the spine. When we perform traditional squats with a barbell, the spine supports all the weight, which can be problematic for people with a history of injuries or lower back pain. In the Bulgarian split squat with dumbbells, the weight is distributed laterally, significantly reducing vertebral compression. Additionally, this exercise causes less stress on the joints, especially the knees. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research compared the joint reaction force of the knee during different squat variations. The results showed that the Bulgarian split squat produced approximately 25% less compressive force on the knee compared to the traditional squat, while activating the quadriceps similarly or even superior. For those with knee problems or seeking more sustainable training in the long term, this is a significant advantage. To perform the Bulgarian split squat, you'll need a bench or elevated surface, such as a stable chair and a pair of dumbbells. Start by positioning yourself with your back to the bench at a distance of approximately 1 long step. Hold a dumbbell in each hand, with arms extended alongside your body. The next step is to place the top of one foot on the bench behind you. This will be your rear support leg. Adjust the distance in relation to the bench so that, when descending, your front knee forms an angle of approximately 90 degrees without exceeding the line of your toes. When initiating the movement, inhale and descend in a controlled manner, flexing the knee of the front leg as if you were performing a squat. It's normal for the knee of the back leg to approach the floor. This is the goal. At the lowest point of the movement, the front knee should be bent at approximately 90 degrees and your thigh almost parallel to the ground. To rise, exhale, and propel yourself through the heel of the front leg, actively contracting the glute and quadriceps. Return to the starting position without completely locking the knee at the top, maintaining slight muscle tension. Complete all repetitions with one leg before switching to the other. Among the most common errors that should be avoided are excessively leaning the trunk forward, which transfers the load to the back. letting the front knee go too far beyond the line of the toes, increasing joint stress, and raising the heel of the front leg, reducing glute activation. I recommend starting with 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions per leg, with a weight that is challenging, but allows you to maintain correct technique. For beginners, you can start with just body weight until mastering the movement, gradually progressing to light dumbbells and increasing as adaptation occurs. Rest 60 to 90 seconds between sets. Exercise 2. Romanian deadlift with dumbbells. The Romanian deadlift with dumbbells is one of the most efficient exercises for developing the posterior thigh, a region frequently neglected in many training programs. There is a common misconception that the volume and shape of the legs come predominantly from the development of the quadriceps, when in fact the hamstrings are equally important both for aesthetics and functionality. The hamstrings are biarticular muscles, which means they cross 2 joints, the hip and the knee. This characteristic makes them especially important for complex movements such as running, jumping, and even for proper body posture. When the hamstrings are weak in relation to the quadriceps, we create a muscle imbalance that can lead to postural problems, lower back pain, and even increase the risk of knee injuries. In the functional context of daily life, the hamstrings are crucial for activities such as lifting objects from the floor, climbing stairs, and maintaining stability while walking. As we age, strength in this muscle group becomes even more important to prevent falls and maintain mobility. This exercise not only strengthens the hamstrings but also intensely works the glutes, the lumbar region, and even the erector spinae muscles, creating a strong and functional posterior chain. It's a hip hinge movement, which teaches the body to maintain a neutral spine while bending from the hips, an essential movement pattern for healthy body mechanics. To correctly execute the Romanian deadlift with dumbbells, start standing with feet shoulder-width apart, holding a dumbbell in each hand in front of your thighs. When initiating the movement, inhale and begin hip flexion, pushing the hip backward as if you were trying to touch a wall behind you with your glutes. This movement is often called a hip hinge. As the hip moves backward, allow the knees to flex slightly. It's not a stiff-legged movement, but rather with a slight knee flexion that remains constant throughout the exercise. Continue lowering the dumbbells toward the floor, keeping them close to your legs. You should feel a progressive stretch in the hamstrings. Descend to the point where you feel significant tension in the back of your thighs, usually when the trunk is almost parallel to the ground, or as far as your flexibility allows without compromising the neutral position of the spine. For most people, this occurs a little below the knees. The key point in this movement is to maintain the spine in a neutral position throughout the exercise. There should be no rounding in the back. Imagine your spine as a rigid rod from hip to head, moving as a single unit while the hips act as a hinge. To return to the starting position, strongly contract the glutes and hamstrings to extend the hips, pushing them forward while keeping the dumbbells close to the body. Among the most common errors are rounding the back, which places undue stress on the lumbar spine, flexing the knees too much, transforming the exercise into a kind of squat, and not pushing the hip back enough, causing the dumbbells to move away from the body and increasing the lever arm. I recommend 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions with a moderate weight that allows perfect technique. Start with light dumbbells until mastering the movement pattern, then gradually progress. Before continuing to the third exercise, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to correct and science-based information is what will help you continuously improve your body without risk of injury. Exercise 3. Single-leg dumbbell calf raise. The calves are frequently the most neglected muscle group in training programs, perhaps because they are not as visible as the quadriceps or as expressive as the glutes. However, strong and functional calves are essential both for aesthetics and for long-term health. A fascinating and little-known aspect about the calves is their crucial function in the circulatory system. The calf muscles act as a second heart pump, helping to propel blood back to the heart against the force of gravity. When we walk or exercise, the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the calves compress the veins in the legs, pushing blood upward. This mechanism, known as the calf muscle pump, is so important that its dysfunction is associated with problems such as varicose veins, edema, and even deep vein thrombosis. Crazy, right? And beyond the circulatory role, the calves are fundamental for balance and stability. The soleus muscle, one of the main components of the calf, is particularly important for postural stabilization during the upright position and walking. Studies show that elderly people with stronger calves have better balance and a lower risk of falls, an invaluable benefit for quality of life in old age. There is a saying among bodybuilders that calves are stubborn, referring to the difficulty many find in developing them. This resistance to growth has a physiological explanation. The calves are extremely resistant muscles that are already constantly used during walking and daily activities. It's estimated that we take between 5,000 and 10,000 steps per day on average, and each step involves contraction of the calves. This constant exposure to low loads makes the calves naturally resistant to fatigue and, consequently, more difficult to stimulate for hypertrophy. According to a study published in American Family Physician, weak or tight calf muscles can cause or contribute to various foot and ankle problems, including Achilles tendinitis, plantar fasciitis, and shin splints, that pain in the front of the leg. The research demonstrated that patients with these problems who incorporated specific calf exercises into their rehabilitation programs showed a 40% faster recovery rate and 60% fewer recurrences compared to groups that did not perform these exercises. To correctly execute this exercise, you will need a dumbbell and an elevated surface, such as a step, a yoga block, or even a thick book. Start by holding a dumbbell in the hand on the same side as the leg that will be worked. Position the front half of your foot on the elevated surface, with the heel free in the air. The other leg should be slightly flexed and elevated, without touching the ground. To maintain balance, you can lightly support your free hand on a nearby wall or piece of furniture. Initiate the movement by letting the heel descend as low as possible, creating a good stretch in the calf. You should feel a pronounced stretch, but not uncomfortable. From this position, propel yourself upward through the ball of the foot, raising the heel as high as possible and contracting the calf at the top of the movement. Take a brief pause in this position of maximum contraction. This extra second at the top is crucial for maximizing muscle stimulation. Slowly descend back to the starting position, controlling the movement and resisting the force of gravity. Complete all repetitions on one leg before switching to the other. Among the common errors that should be avoided are not descending enough, limiting the range of motion, not rising completely, and not controlling the eccentric phase of the movement. As for dosage, the calves respond well to higher volumes due to the resistant nature we mentioned. I recommend 3 to 4 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions per leg, with moderate weight. Rest 45 to 60 seconds between sets. Now that you already know the 3 main exercises, let's talk about how to organize them into an efficient training routine. To get the best results, I recommend training the legs 2 to 3 times a week with at least 48 hours of recovery between workouts. An effective approach is to implement these exercises in 2 different formats. Option 1, complete leg workout. In this format, you perform all 3 exercises in sequence on the same day. Option 2, split by days. If you prefer shorter sessions or have time limitations, you can divide the exercises. Day 1, Monday, 4 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions per leg of Bulgarian split squat, and 3 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions per leg of single-leg dumbbell calf raises. Day 2, Thursday, 4 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions of Romanian deadlift, 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions per leg of Bulgarian split squat, but using a lighter weight than on day 1, and 3 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions per leg of calf raises. And remember, as we always say here on the channel, it is fundamental to gradually increase the challenge to continue getting results. You can do this by increasing the weight of the dumbbells, increasing the number of repetitions before increasing the weight, reducing the rest time between sets, or adding advanced techniques such as partial repetitions, isometric pauses, or time under tension. If you want to discover, according to the latest scientific studies, which of these is the best way to progress in your exercises, we have a video showing the advantages and disadvantages of each of these approaches and which brought more results according to research. Thank you for watching until here, and may God bless you, my friend.